My name is John Passfield. The title of this reading will be John and the Universan Video 6, A Visit to the Great Wall of China, Part 1. So here is my book, John and the Universan, Nothing is Known. So a battered old-looking spaceship, two entities inside, maybe two humans, maybe two spacemen, maybe one human and one spaceman. On the way to visit Stonehenge, John wonders whether his English ancestors might have been involved in the building of that mysterious megalith. Suddenly, he finds himself being held prisoner in a spaceship by an alien who tells John that despite government secrecy on his home planet, he's heard rumors that over many centuries his ancestors have taken part in a series of major building projects here on Earth. Together, John and the alien embark on a tour of ancient sites, including Stonehenge, in search of their common ancestral roots. Well, the first site they visit was Easter Island, and in this reading they're going to visit the Great Wall of China. I'm about to read two passages in which John and the alien, who asked John to call him the Universan, so John will not know the name of the planet from which he comes, tour the Great Wall of China. These segments will come from Chapter 4 of the story. Now, in Chapter 1, John, his son Adam Passfield, and a group of high school students from Canada are about to visit Stonehenge. In that chapter, John muses about the rumor that aliens built Stonehenge and many other earthly megaliths. In Chapter 2, an alien takes John prisoner and asks John who built Stonehenge. When John says he doesn't know who built Stonehenge, the alien says that he will take John, his prisoner, on a tour of the megaliths of the earth to find out what humans know about the building of these earthly megaliths. So, in Chapter 3, John and the Universan visit Easter Island, and here in Chapter 4, they're about to visit the Great Wall of China. So let's have a look at the first two sections, but it's the first half of that trip. I'm going to go to page 23 here. So I'm going to read two segments, and it will be half of their trip. So, John and the Universan on the Great Wall of China, listening to a tour guide giving a tour. Today, everyone, our tour guide is explaining, we will explore the Mutianyu section of the Great Wall of China. We will begin our tour at the ancient Ming tombs, which includes the underground mausoleum of Emperor Zudi, which, as your itinerary tells you, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Later, we will enjoy a typical Chinese lunch, yes, alternative fares are available, after which we will visit a jade carving factory and then continue on to the Mutianyu section of the Great Wall, which is one of the best preserved sections, as your guidebook says. It isn't easy being a human, the Universan said to me, as the little old spaceship touched down in China. The black eye from Easter Island is apparent to me, but not, it seems, to anyone else. And anyway, at any rate, its occasion no remarks. At one time, it served to defend the capital and the imperial tombs. A cable car ride can whisk you to the highest point on this part of the wall, although you must purchase a separate ticket for that excursion, as a cable car is not included in the original price. As we experience the tour, the Universan finds the odd moment to recount his planet's history. I have found a word in your vocabulary for the people who ran our planet, John. From now on, I will call them elites. Oh, and speaking of heights and a spectacular view, the tour guide adds, though I can't speak from personal experience, it's said that the Great Wall can be seen, weather permitting, I assume, from outer space. The people I belong to, continues the Universan, I will call the plundered, or the exploited, or the kept down, or the underserved. You have quite a rich vocabulary here on Earth, I see. Okay, well, that's the first segment of the visit to the Great Wall of China. Here's the second segment. Included in this leg of our tour, their guide is explaining, will be a visit to the Jinxinglang Great Wall, which is held by many to be the best preserved section of the Great Wall of China. We will hike along the serpent-like ramparts, which you will be pleased to hear will not be as crowded as are many other parts of the wall. For you photography enthusiasts in the group, we will have lunch at a local restaurant with breathtaking views. I'll have to warn the Universan about human blisters. He wrote his name on his hiking boots like everyone else, but then he quickly took the marker and scratched it out. The Jinxinglang section of the Great Wall of China lies northeast of the imperial capital and connects to the Simitai and Gubeku sections of the east and west. The views will constantly be breathtaking today as the brick-built watchtowers and the dragon-like configuration snake across the mountains in the distance. At breaks in the hiking tour, the Universan continues to tell me his tale. The elites were very clever, John. They designed the economy as a funnel so that our people assumed that the wealth would trickle down. But what they placed in it was not gold dust, John, but gold bars. So not a speck actually trickled down to those who were waiting with the equivalent of bushel baskets down below. Of course, gold on our planet, whether dust or bars, was completely, John, unknown. But that consideration aside, John, it's clear to you, I assume, that the elites were running our planet into the terrain, into the firmament? No, into the ground. They used up all of the natural resources on luxuries for themselves, while treating the rest of the people, the plundered, the kept down, the underserved, as beasts of burden to be exploited, worn down, and then discarded, erased, evaporated, John, when they got old and tired. So those are two sections then of the tour of the Great Wall of China. There are people who love to read, but have no idea how other readers, such as literature teachers, book reviewers, and literary critics, interpret books. These book lovers enjoy the characters and the stories and laugh or cry at the endings of the books, but they have no idea what gives the teachers, the reviewers, and the critics access to the ideas of the book. Well, I would suggest that one way to access the meaning of this book is to start with the idea that every character has an agenda. When I think about the two passages that I've just read, two segments of a tour of the Great Wall of China, I ask myself, number one, what is the agenda of the tour guide at the Great Wall of China? And number two, what is the agenda of the alien, the Universan, as he and John take the tour of the Great Wall of China? Well, number one, the agenda of the tour guide of the Great Wall of China is to explain what we Earthlings know about the building of the Great Wall of China. And number two, the agenda of the Universan is twofold. So, 2A, one agenda of the Universan is to find out all he can about who built the earthly monoliths. That was the Great Wall of China as the example of the moment. So in this agenda, the Universan shares an agenda with the tour guide. And now, 2B, the alien's other agenda. The other agenda of the Universan is to avoid telling John anything about his home planet, as he has said to John earlier in this story that his people know that Earthlings have destroyed their own planet and are looking for another planet to destroy. So, with these agendas in mind, if you have a copy of this book, I would ask you to take two different colors of marker and mark the following elements. Number one, mark any words which suggest to you that the shared agenda of the tour guide in the Universan of information about the building of the Great Wall of China is being served by those words. So mark with one color any information about the Great Wall of China, particularly who built it. Number two, mark any words which suggest to you that a second agenda of the Universan to avoid telling anything that would give away the name and location of its home planet is being served by those words. So you might underline any information about his home planet that he is trying not to give away, right? How secret is he able to be? It's still only chapter 4 of a 10-chapter story, so it's early yet to come to any conclusions, but the gathering of information based on a topic is a process by which teachers, reviewers, and critics go about formulating an analysis of a fictional book. So if you start this process here, in the first segment of chapter 4, you're on your way to an analysis of your own. So, this is my book, John and the Universan, Nothing is Known. It's found on Amazon, where there's more information. It's also found on my publisher's website, rocksmillspress.com, where there's additional information. And on my website, johnpassville.ca, there are 2 books which you can access just by clicking on the cover and read for free. One is the planning notebooks, which I wrote while I was planning and writing the book, and the other is the reflective journal, which I wrote while I was polishing the book. So, thoughts of a writer about writing a book at johnpassville.ca. Lastly, I'll say thank you for watching this video.